Hi, and welcome back to this new video tutorial of Akeneo. In today's video tutorial, we'll be checking out Akeneo Custom XLSX connector. Now, using this particular connector, the admin of the Akeneo would be able to import and export product and product models using a customized XLSX file there. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to import the products into Akeneo using a customized XLSX file, and you'll also be able to export the products from Akeneo into a customizable XLS file there. Now, after you exported the product into a customizable XLSX file there, you'll be then able to upload those products onto the third-party platforms, suppliers, and other applications there. Now, in today's video tutorial, what we'll be doing is we'll be seeing the workflow at the Akeneo end, wherein we'll be seeing how we'll be able to do the mapping for the import and the export of the product and product models in the backend panel there. And within the mapping, we'll be seeing how we'll be able to map the Akeneo fields with the customizable XLS file field headers. Apart from that, we'll also be seeing how we'll be able to create the import and export jobs there for importing and exporting the product and product models into the CSV file there, and the rest of the workflow as well. But before I proceed further with this particular video tutorial today, please do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to receive the latest updates from our end. And if you find this particular video helpful, then do kindly give it a thumbs up. So let's hop on to the Akeneo backend panel and let's check the workflow of this particular connector. That's the Akeneo Custom XLSX connector. For the same, let's hop on to the admin backend panel now. So right now you can see that I'm at the Akeneo backend panel. So what I'll be doing initially is I'll be logging into the Akeneo backend panel by entering the username, password, and tapping on the login button thereafter. So let's get ahead and let's log into the admin backend panel first. So after entering the details here, I'll tap here on the login button. Now, after the successful installation of this particular connector, you will find one option on the side hand panel there. So let's log into the admin backend panel first, and then we'll be seeing that particular option being displayed after you've successfully installed this connector. So let me tap here on the close, never, and here on the side panel, if I scroll down, you can see that we have the XLSX connector option. Now, if I tap on this, we'll find this particular Akeneo Custom XLSX connector, and here you can see that we have the documentation support, and here we have the option to create the mapping templates there. To create the mapping template for the import and export, what we'll be doing is we'll be tapping here on the mapping templates itself. Now, kindly note that using this particular connector, you'll be able to import as well as export the product and product models from Akeneo and into Akeneo using a customized XLSX file there. While you're exporting the products, the XLSX file would be automatically created, and in the other way, you'll have to create an XLSX file with the particular file headers there and their values there, and then you'll be able to make use of the same to import the product and product models from that particular file into the Akeneo there. Now, here under the mapping templates, you can see that I have already created few templates there. One is for the simple product export. So I've created two templates for the export and two templates for the import for a better understanding there. Now here you can see that I've created the simple product export for exporting the simple products into an XLSX file there, and I've created the model product export for exporting the product models into the XLSX file there. Apart from that, you can see that I've created the simple product and the product model import, what we say as the templates as well. Now, these templates are to be selected when we are creating a job for the import and export there. Accordingly, we have to select the particular, what we say as the mapping template there, and then we have to run the job there. So first, let's see how we can create the mapping templates for the import and export there. Now, you can create a single what we say as a mapping template there for both the import and export, or you can go with different ones there. For the product and product models, you can create different export and import mappings as well, or you can create a single mapping that is having the import and the export mappings there. Now, for the example here, I'll be choosing these simple and model product export and import mappings there. But to give you an overview of how we can create the mappings in the first place, for that I'll be showing you how we can create the template there. So to create a template, what I'll be doing is I'll be tapping here on the create template button that you can see on the right hand side, and then we have to give the template name. So let me give it the name as test template for import export. So this just is a demonstration of how you can create the template for both the import and export in one mapping there. You can create the mappings as per your own requirement, as I've created the 4 different mappings for simple and what we say as product models, import and export there. So I've created 4 different mappings there. So this one is an example of a single mapping with both the import and export things there, and then we'll be showing how we can do the mapping of the Akeneo fields with the what we say as the customizable XLSX file field headers there. So after creating the template here, we need to give the template name, and then we'll be tapping here on the save button thereafter. After we have saved it up, you can see that the test template for import export has been created, and here we are having 2 different tabs. Let me close this window here, and here we are having the export mapping and the import mapping itself. Now under the export mapping, we'll be able to add the field names that are there within the XLSX customizable file, or the XLS file field headers have to be entered here, and they have to be mapped with the Akeneo simple product mapping and the Akeneo variant product mapping. Apart from that, you'll be able to also set up the default values for each of the fields there as per the requirement. So for an example, for the export mapping, what I'll be doing is I'll be using this add field section to add the field header name of the CSV file. For example, SKU has been set up there. So this is the export mapping that we are going to do. So this will be the field header within the XLSX file there when we are exporting the products there from the Akeneo into that particular XLS file there. Then we have to choose the Akeneo field type. So here I'll be selecting it as the SKU is the identifier type attribute, and we can set whether the attribute is localizable or whether the attribute is scopable or not. So the SKU is not localizable or it's not scopable as well. So we'll just choose the field header name for the XLSX file there and the Akeneo field type, and then we'll be tapping here on the add field button. After tapping that, you can see that the field name for the XLSX file has been set up as SKU in capitals, and here we have to map it with the Akeneo simple product and the Akeneo variant product there. So here you can see that according to the selection that we had made here as the identifier, the attribute type, only the attributes of the type identifier are being displayed here. So I'll choose it as SKU and SKU for this. The SKU would be different for each of the products there, so we won't be setting any default value for the same. Similarly, we can set up the name, field header name for the XLS file, and we'll be choosing the attribute type here. Let's choose it as text, and we'll tap here on the add field button. The name field would be added here for the XLSX file there. Okay. And now we'll have to choose it as name for the Akeneo simple product and name for the variant product there. Then similarly, you can set up variant name. For example, I'll choose the attribute type as text, and the variant name can be localizable. So I'll set it as localizable as true, and I'll tap here on the add field. And then we'll be able to map it with the variant name here. So you can see that we have chosen the localizable, so only the localizable attributes are being displayed here. So I can choose variant name and variant name, and then we have to do the other mapping. So for example, I've done it for the SKU name, variant name. You can do it for the other XLS file field header names there as per the requirement there, and then you can map it with the Akeneo simple product mapping and the variant product attributes there as per the requirement. And then what you need to do is you need to go to the other mapping section, and here you have to set up the category field that would be there within the XLSX file there. So we'll set it as categories, multiple value separator, we'll choose it as a comma. Our family field will be set as family. The product enable field would be set as enabled. The product parent field would be set as product parent field, or you can set it as product parent as well. The family variant can be set as family variant there. And if you want to export the unit metric attributes, you can enable it out, or if you want to separate the product family code from dash, you can enable or disable that option as well. So after this, after you're done with the export mapping, you can tap here on the save button to save the particular mapping there. And in a similar fashion, you can do the import mapping as well for the XLSX file field headers there with the Akeneo simple product attributes and the variant product attributes there by using this add field section. As we've already seen within this particular section here, you can do the import mapping as well, and you can do the other mapping as well for the same. Now I've already created the mappings here. If I go to the XLSX file section here and I go to the mapping template section, here you can see that I've created the particular templates, and you can see the other template that I created, test template for import export, is also visible here. It's disabled right now. To enable it out, I can tap here on the change status, and this would be enabled as well. If I want to delete it, I can tap here on the delete, and the particular one would be deleted from this particular section itself. So now I've already created the simple product export and the model product export mapping here, and the simple product import and the product model import mapping here for a better understanding for the simple and the model product export and import there. And here, if you see, if I go to the simple product export, you'll be able to see the export mapping section, and here you can see the XLSX field names, SKU, name, price, image, weight, product quantity, description, etc. and etc. so on and so forth. And you can see that I've mapped them with the Akeneo simple products and the Akeneo variant product attributes there. And similarly, I've done the other mapping here for the category field, family field, product parent field, family variant field, multiple value separator has been selected, product enable field, export unit with metrics, separate product family code from dash enabled. And within the import mapping, I have not done anything because we have just created it for the export mapping there. Now, after we have created the mappings here for the export and the import as per the requirement for the simple and the model products, now what we need to do is we need to create the export and import jobs for the same there. To do so, what we'll be doing is first we'll be seeing the export thing there of how we can export the product and the product models from Akeneo into the XLSX file there. So for that, we have to go to the export section, and here you can see that I've already created two profiles. One is for the product export and one is for the product model export. Here you can see that the connector name is webcool custom XLSX connector. And to create the same, what you can do is you can tap here on the create export profile. You can give the code name, label name, and under the job required, what you need to do is you need to scroll down to the particular section that says webcool custom XLSX connector, and here you can create a job for the product export or for the product model export as per your own requirement there. Now let me cancel this out. So I've already created the product export and the product model export. So let's go with the product export first. So we'll be exporting a simple product into the XLSX file there. So for that, what I'll do is I'll just tap here on the product export profile there. And if I edit this profile, what we need to do is we need to set up the global settings like the decimal separator and the other options here. Under the content, you can see that I have chosen the name as sunglasses. So the simple product, that's the product, that is the sunglasses, would be exported into the XLSX file there with the particular values. And here under the setup store template, I'll be choosing the template that we had created. So here I'll be choosing the simple product export. So this template was created under this particular section here on the bottom left hand corner. That's the XLSX section. So I'll choose simple product export, and then I'll tap here on the save button. After saving, I'll tap here on the export now. The process would start, and you can see that the product export has been done. One has been read and one has been written there. Now I can tap here on the download generated files, and the export product data, export data in the XLSX file format has been downloaded. Now if I open it up, you can see the particular categories, families, family variants, product size, color, collection, meta keywords, meta title, description, weight, image, price, a name as the sunglasses, and the SKU also being exported into the XLSX file there. So this was how we can export the simple products from Akeneo into the XLSX file there. Now let me show you, this was the export. Now let me show you the import process of importing the products from XLSX file into the Akeneo there. So we had exported this particular product. Now what we need to do is we need to go to the product section. For example, I'll go to the product section for this particular demonstration, and here you can see that I have the sunglasses there that we had exported. Now let me delete this sunglasses product from the Akeneo, and let me refresh this particular page once again. So this is just taking a bit of time there. So let the product page come up once again. So you can see now the product is not there. Now what I'll do is I'll go to the import section, and here within the import section you can see that I've created two different profiles, one for the product model import and one for the simple product import, and the connector is Webcool Custom XLSX connector. So to create the import profile, you can go to the create import profile button, and then you can set up the code label, and under the job required you need to scroll down to the particular section that says Webcool Custom XLSX connector, and here you can create the profile for the product import or for the XLSX product model import. So I've already created both of them for the simple product and for the product model import as well. So now let me go ahead and let me do it for the simple product import there using the XLSX file there that I've already created, and for which I've already done the mapping there within this XLSX section. Now here I'll go to this particular section and I'll go to the upload a file, and I'll choose the XLS file that I've created. So here I have a file that has the data of the simple product there, and for which I've already done the mapping of the XLS file headers with the Akeneo fields there within the mapping section there. So I'll open it up and I'll tap here on the upload and import now button. Now this process would start, and we can see the red lines is 1 and the creation is 1. Now if I go to the product section here, we'll be able to see the sunglasses being created using the XLSX file there. So that's how we can basically export the products from Akeneo into the XLSX file format there, the product and the product model data basically, and we can import the products and product models from the XLSX file into the Akeneo there by first initially creating the mappings there for the import and export, and then creating the jobs for the import and export there. So I've already shown you the export section where I showed you the product export for the simple product. Similarly, you can do the export for the product model export as well. So if I go to the product model export and I go ahead and I edit this particular what we say as the profile, here under the global settings we have to set up the decimal separator and the other options here like the category separator, etc. And then under the content you can see that I've chosen the braided hat to be exported there as the product model. And then under the setup store template I've chosen the model product export as the particular one, and then I've tapped here on the save button. Now after that, if I tap here on the export now button, you'll see that the process would start, and I can download the generated file or the exported XLSX file there, and this file would be having the particular model data there, as you can see right now on your screens itself, with the SKU as model braided hat, the name as braided hat, and the rest of the details of the product model there. And in a similar fashion, you can create an XLSX file with the product model data, and then you'll be able to import that product model data into the Akeneo by navigating to the import section, and here you have to run the particular profile, that's the product model import option, and then you have to upload that particular file that you have already created manually there, and then you have to select that up, and then you have to upload and import it, and the particular thing would be uploaded and imported into the Akeneo itself. So yes, that was much about the Akeneo custom XLSX connector there, and I hope that this particular video helped you out in understanding the workflow of this particular connector there, of how you'll be able to import and export the product models using a CSV, the XLSX file there. And apart from that, if you find this particular video helpful, then do kindly give it a thumbs up. And if you still have any questions, queries, suggestions or requirements regarding the same, then you can anytime get back to us at support@webcool.com, or you can raise a ticket at webcool.uvdesk.com as well. And lastly, thanks for watching this particular video and have a great day ahead.